this thing on? Check, 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 checkity, check, check. Can you see Gary the ghost back there? Everyone say hi, Gary! Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's video. I just kind of had this urge where I wanted to show camera, you all out there, whoever's watching, all the different little arts, the arts and farts. I don't know. I was gonna say arts and crafts, but like, this isn't arts and crafts. Just the things I've created. Okay. I wanted to show off the things I've created because I'm really proud of them. I've kind of gone headfirst into this whole, I call it my Jade of all trades shenanigans, where I'm just learning a bunch of things all at once. And it's very ADHD coded of one day I'm working on sewing and then the next day I'm crocheting and then the next day I'm just reading all day and the next day, or some days I don't do anything at all, and then some days I'm doing 20 different activities at once. And I just go with it. I'm just rolling with it. So, without further ado, we're not gonna make a long intro. We're gonna get right into the video. First things first, we're gonna go over my little crochet projects. The first thing I've made, which technically this isn't the first crochet thing I made, back there in my little bookshelf, I have these crochet shorts that are so cute, and I could show you, but that would require me getting up right now, and you know what? I'll get up. Get up, girl. Okay, here they are. Ooh la la. Hey, Bailey. How rude of her. Excuse me. Shh. I'm filming. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. Had to get my dog out of here. She started barking. As we can see, we got some cute shorts, but what is that? This is supposed to be the leg part. When I was trying it on to kind of see like, this crotch area part, to be blunt, sorry, it was kind of getting pulled back, and yeah, like you can imagine, was kind of looking like giving me a camel toe. So I have to figure that out. I don't know. These I think I made either the beginning of the year or last year, and I haven't touched this pattern or anything, so I kind of forgot what I did. So I don't know. I might just like start over. I want to make another pair of shorts, but I'll probably just relearn how to make this again, and I think I kind of know how to fix that problem. I am proud of those though. Like the rest of it is pretty cute. I love it. Another thing I made, this was like so simple. I think I made this in a day. I'm gonna put her channel right here. I've only tried this tutorial from her, but all her other tutorials seem super self-explanatory and easy to follow. Again, this top literally took me 2 seconds because you'll see it's a very simple basic top, but it's this little triangular triangle top. Wow, this is really hard to do with a mic. Let me show you and then we'll talk about it. So it's a little scandy, and the stitching, as you can see through that. So I would probably wear this more of a little bikini cover up, but it actually is really cute. I wore it with, well, I didn't wear it out, but I tried it on with my bikini top, and I really liked it. It was super cute. Then this one I literally just finished today. I still have to weave the tail ends. Like there's some throughout the piece, there's little tail yarn pieces sticking out from where I finished that section off. So it looks a little messy because of that, but once it's all cleaned up, I'm so excited to wear this. I'm going to wear this on Friday or next week. I don't know why I needed to tell you the exact day. It's like Friday's the only day I leave my house because that's when I go to my sewing lessons. Besides that, barely get out of the house. This top definitely looks cuter on. See what I mean by like I gotta weave these tails in, but I am so proud of this one. This one did take a little bit longer for me. Clearly, it's obviously a lot more, and I went through I think 3.5. I got through it. I don't know, went through a lot of yarn for this. I had to measure myself more for this and get the right amount of rows for my body, how many stitches for the stitch length. With it on, you can see right here, there's a bunch of ties up on the side. Basically made the front panel, back panel, joined it together at the sleeves part. Then I made this ribbed neckline, which this was the first time I made a neckline, which I don't know, I'm just super proud of myself for. It wasn't too difficult, but again, it just was a new skill I learned because the rest of this I already knew how to do. It was very, very simple. But yeah. So those are like my 2 crochet pieces I've made so far. And like I said, I think the next project I'm going to get going on for the crochet is shorts, but not necessarily doing this pattern again. I have a different one, but who knows, maybe I'll show you in a different video if I end up doing those. So now we're gonna get into kind of a similar vein, but hold on, I gotta catch my breath. Holy shit. I oh got out of breath for no reason. I think I have to get used to talking to camera too. I'm really conscious about my wording and try not to say like a lot of times and ums and a lot of filler words. And when I get conscious about my speaking, then I start stuttering and my throat kind of starts to close up a bit. I don't know. So it's like hard for me to talk. But in a similar vein, we're gonna get into some of my sewing projects. I've kind of been sewing for a couple months now, but I've only have a few projects to show for that because I do have a sewing machine at home in a little station in my living room, but ever since I started doing sewing lessons down at the studio that I go to now, I simply just can't sew anywhere else but there. I don't know, I love going to a space and just sewing for a few hours, and then when I try to do it here, it just doesn't feel the same. She has also different machines than I do that I have now grown to love more than my machine I have here. I don't know. So there is a few projects, but I'm still really proud of them. So it technically is a set, but I would never wear these together because as I'm growing into my old age of almost about to be 25, I don't really love a full stomach crop top, low waisted shorts, full stomach moment, and that's what this is giving. But it is the same pattern, is what I'm kind of getting at. But first, I have this really cute little gingham top, which I just picked from the patterns that she had. This was the first project that my sewing teacher and I worked on together. Quite honestly, I just picked it more, not because I knew, oh my gosh, I'm gonna wear that all the time, but more of I just want to learn something. But then making it and actually putting it on, I'm like, wait, this is actually so cute. So first, we'll show you. Like I could put it on right now for you. Super cute. So it's this kind of 50s inspired vintage crop top. This one definitely took a long time. This was, again, as I said, my first project with her, and it was the first time really working with a pattern, and I was so confused with, and I still get, this is like the only thing I get confused on now is when sewing, it'll say right sides together, but then you have to make sure, like especially if it's a left and a right, to flip it so that it is a left and a right and not making two rights. I don't know. If you sew, you know what I mean. It's kind of hard for me to explain what I mean unless you sew as well and you know what I mean. So, no pun intended. And it just like came out super nice. I mean, you would literally think I bought this at the store of how clean and crisp everything is, and we lined it, and I even hand sewn the buttons, so I learned how to hand sew, and it's super cute. Oh, hello. And it's matching twin of the set. When I show you, they don't look cute off the body. That's a really weird way of describing it. It doesn't look cute. I'll just show you. These little ruffle shorts, but they look really weird. But when you have them on, again, I'll insert a photo here, you kind of rouge and ruffle down so it becomes like a little low waisted short. But when I show them now, they just look like a big gingham diaper. But they promise they're so cute on, and I'm literally obsessed with these. These are my favorite shorts. I'm gonna wear them all the time. This was the first project I made, well, technically second, but first project I made after that gingham top that I knew, ooh, these are shorts that I really, really, really want to wear. Because, you see them everywhere, and all the girls have them, and I just wanted a pair of my own. Honorable mention, I'm not done with them yet, but if I'm done with them by the time I have this video edited and everything, then I'll insert a picture right now of the cargo pants I'm working on. Again, in a similar vein to my top, little gingham top, I wasn't picking these pants as, ooh, these are really gonna be a pant that I'm like super excited to wear. More just, I want to learn this and I want to learn how to make pants, so I pick this pattern. I actually might wear them. There's the only thing that sucks is the hip and butt area is a bit tight. So I don't know if I have to, like, if I can stretch it out a bit and maybe it will loosen up a bit. They would be actually really cute dance pants if I go take like a hip hop class or something. But if not, still super proud of them. The trousers obviously have so far been the hardest. I've been so proud of myself because this time around I haven't even really had any help doing them. Like I've asked a few questions here and there. For example, again with this gingham top, she was walking me, like holding my hand through the entire process and walking me step by step through each step of this. And with my cargo pants, I basically did it all by myself with just like a few questions here and there. But I kind of looked over the pattern and I said, okay, yeah, I get this. So you do this and then you sew this, and then you do that. And I knew what I was doing. I'm like, wait, am I really a real seamstress right now? Like, am I really doing it? And I am. Woo. I think that's all I have sewing wise. There's like other little things I see over there. I have a tote bag, but technically, now that was my real first project, was a tote bag that I did by myself. But it's not really that interesting to look at. It's literally just a plain canvas tote bag. Nothing too special with it. I think that's all my sewing. And going into my sewing lessons this upcoming week, I am gonna start the endeavor of pattern drafting. So I'll update you guys on that journey. Yeah, so the update on that journey is my brain feels like mush every time I try to understand what the hell I'm doing. So I found a resource that is supposedly supposed to help me, and that's the update, is that it hurts my brain too much. But let's get into the next portion, which is some of the pottery and ceramics that I've made. Was it September? Yeah, so last month I did a 4-week class of pottery making, only once a week, but it was for 4 weeks. So 4 classes of learning how to throw pottery, which was so fun. Once I got the hang of it, fun fact, because if you ever done pottery, you know, like crouching to show you, but you have to have your feet up, or like you have to be really close next to the wheel, hunched over with your elbow in your hip to really stabilize it, because if you're just like this, you're gonna go crazy and your clay's gonna fly everywhere and it's just not gonna work. And he was saying in the beginning of class, okay, if you're shorter, there's some bricks. Put the bricks and put your feet on the bricks so that your legs are elevated a bit so that they can stabilize into your body, your elbows into your body. And I'm like doing it, and I'm like, what the? Every time I try to pull up my clay, all of a sudden I get to the top and my clay would get distorted, which kind of will lead me into this first piece. But just to finish off that story, how I figured out what works for me is that I actually need 2 bricks. That is how short I am. Even though I'm like an average height for a girl, but I don't know. I needed 2 bricks because I was like on full releve while I'm just really stabilized there. And once I did that, it was smooth sailing. But before that, this is what the piece turned out. Oh, I don't like that you can't see the color. It's just too bright. Funny enough, this is actually one of my favorite pieces, and I do actually like it. It was kind of a happy accident. It's a very abstract little ring holder, and actually in it, again, ugh, can you see? Maybe back there. If you can see in there, I was practicing how to make a circle in crochet, and for the longest time, I was like, I don't know what to do with this. I like it, it's cute, it's a little crochet circle, but it's not big enough to be a coaster or anything. And my mom said, why don't you make it a little ring holder? So that's what I did, and then serendipitously, it ended up fitting in here, and the color of the ivory crochet with, you can't really see, but it's kind of this pinky rose color. It's my favorite of the glazes that I did. They work so good together, and it's become actually one of my favorite pieces. So that was my little happy accident. And then this piece, I'll save my favorite piece for the end, but this one I was really proud of. I made a bowl, which, and the shape I'm really proud of. The only thing that kind of sucks is the glaze didn't turn out. I kind of did a double dip of a glaze because what it showed was this really cool color, and instead it didn't really do that. And like, as you can see, got a little messed up in there, and it just looks a little interesting, but it's okay. It fits the aesthetic. If you can see down there, I have like my little witchy shelf in my bookcase, and I just kind of store. Right now, I just have my matches and a little thing in there, but I thought, ooh, the more I get into my little witchcraft, my little witchy side, I can use this as a mortar and pestle. Well, I don't have a pistol, but pestle? Pistol? It's not pistol. Pestle? I don't know. A bowl that I can grind things up like herbs in. I thought it kind of matches the witchy vibe, I guess. I don't know. I'm just trying to make use of it somehow. And then the last thing, well, technically, the last thing I made pottery wise, because I have another ceramic piece, but it's just something I painted on to already made, kind of like a color me mine situation. But the last thing I made on my pottery class was this super cute mug. Hello. I purposely made this pretty funky because I had this inspo picture I saw on Pinterest, and oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with it. I wish I was able to know how to like funk it up, because you see how kind of at the bottom it's nice and then the top's just really funky, so it kind of looks like I accidentally messed it up. But I didn't want to touch it too much. He's like, yeah, just play around with it, just kind of push it in and kind of mess it up. But this was after 20 attempts and making 20 different versions of this, that I was like, okay, I do not want to mess it up anymore. So let's just keep it at that. How cute. Oh my gosh. I'm obsessed with this. This was my favorite piece. And then the last thing for the ceramic section is this I painted with this little pretty flower. Again, this is not, and most of these things, not my original thought. A lot of these things have been recreations off of Pinterest because, again, I'm just learning. So my idea is that the more I just keep recreating different art pieces that I like, eventually I'll be able to fully design my own things, like be able to paint just anything of my own original thought. Like, you can literally search this up on Pinterest and I bet you will find the exact replica of this. Well, not exact, because obviously mine isn't as profesh as the one, because I'm just learning still, but isn't she so cute? I made this one a really, really long time ago. I went with my mom to the same place actually that I did the pottery classes. They also offer just for anyone to go in and paint pottery, because they obviously make all these pieces, so might as well offer them out to people to do a little coloring line thing. Now, on to the last section of things I've created, which, oh, it's behind me. The last section is different drawings that I've been learning. A lot of the stuff, again, as I said, it's either from Pinterest or video tutorials. But I've really been proud of myself because growing up, kind of just doodled in my notebooks or on my school papers. I never really was an artist. And even when I did have to take art class, exhibit of the art pieces I made when I was little, not really giving naturally gifted. So when I started drawing and just following these tutorials, I was very shocked because some of them, they kind of look like, okay, let me not gas myself up too crazy. I was gonna say, it looks like I literally just traced over it, but I didn't. I was just following along. But that's a little saying a lot. But first, I'll show you this one. I actually ended up coloring it in, so this is super cute. Again, fully stole off of Pinterest. This is not my original design, but can you see it? Isn't she so cute? It says, I'm so glad we found each other in this strange life. And obviously, symmetry needs some work, but who cares? It's just about having fun. And I love it. So, we're just gonna go through my little sketchbook. I don't know if you'll be able to see now that I think about it, because this lighting makes it hard to see. I don't know. I'll just put on the screen different little drawings that I've made from my sketchbook that I'm really proud of. Some of them I have is this little star girl, which this one was the last one I've made so far, and I have little doodles of a pumpkin with cowboy boots on and a little witch hat on there, just some doodles to add to that I just also again found off Pinterest. But this one I'm so proud of. And also this mermaid one that I recreated from a video I watched. Do not look at the hands. Now you're looking at the hands because I told you not to look. But like, seriously, don't. But like, look at the eyes. I was so proud of this face and her body besides the hands. I I was like, not to get, again, not saying I almost said not to say I'm not Mozart or anything. Leonardo da Vinci, or gosh, I almost said Beethoven. Who's the other guy that painted is no. What's his name? He cut off his ear. Van Gogh. No Van Gogh, obviously, but I'm proud of myself. You know what? I don't have to explain myself. I'm proud of myself. Fuck you. Sorry. I didn't mean to say that. What else do I have in here? I'll pop them on the screen, but I have some flowers I made that unfortunately got very smudged up, but still really pretty. I have an eyeball that I made, a little fairy. I made a little self-portrait. This one, not really proud of the eyes or the eyebrows, but super proud of the lips and the nose, which I've never been able to do before, so it was really cool. And then I think the last thing I have in here is a little cute girls' bathroom. But yeah, so really started getting into sketching and learning how to draw. And my goal eventually is to be able to not rely on Pinterest and just draw anything I can conjure up in my mind. But I don't really have that ability yet. I have to kind of recreate so I can see exactly what they did with the lines and all that. But I found this really cool art studio near me, different one from the pottery, that teach you any sort of art style. So I think eventually I will go check out that place and learn how to draw better, which is super fun. So that is all the things that I have made over the last few months. Not too many things, but again, a lot more than nothing. So, holy moly, it's been an hour or almost an hour filming, so we're gonna wrap it up. But thank you for watching my video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing all my little trinkets and things that I've made. And I'm excited to make future videos of showing my different creations that I make over the months. And I think it'll be cool to kind of see if there's a progress of quality, especially with my clothing and sewing and seeing, ooh, like what pieces I can make. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video and I will see you later. Bye.